The newest wave of ridiculousness is called prompt theory, off the back of simulation theory, matrix theory, video game theory, and even from the ancients, dream theory, all to say that we are not real, we are actually the product of a higher intelligence, conscious, and at this point people will do anything but believe in a God. And it's so crazy. All you have to know, like if you really want to figure this out, you just have to use a little bit of logic. There's only two types of things. There's dependent things and there's independent things. And dependent things require an explanation. We don't need to know what that explanation is. That explanation just has to also be either dependent or independent. And now you have two options. You have an infinite chain of dependency, meaning I depend on something that depends on something that depends on something, and that keeps going. Or you have something that doesn't keep going and it stops at something independent. The first one's a non-starter. It doesn't make any sense. You can't have it. Because in order for the present event to begin, the past events that it depends on must come to an end. But if that list is endless, or infinite, it does not end. And therefore, you never get to the top of the queue and you never exist. We're just waiting for all the previous things to finish up. But we do exist and we do see dependent things that are in a state of being. So there must be something that is an independent cause that starts everything. And that is the definition of a God. Because something that's independent must be independent from all things. Independent from time, timeless. Independent from space, spaceless. Independent from parts and arrangement, meaning immaterial. Because the parts, the whole depends on the parts. And in arrangement requires you to explain why is it arranged this way as opposed to that way. Alright, which is another dependency. Independent from change, because state A to state B is a change, but that means state B depends upon state A. Independent from other independent causes, right? And this is from the word independence alone. When you get to the word cause, now you have to have power to cause something. You have to have enough knowledge as to how to cause something. You have to have a will, because you cannot rely upon things that are external to yourself. You yourself do not change. And therefore you must initiate a change without changing and without input, which is a will. And when you add that to the previous list, right, where you have knowledge and power, and you don't have parts, that means that you must have all knowledge and all power, because you cannot be part knowledge and part weakness, or part knowledge, part ignorance, or part power and part weakness, right? And because something all weak and all ignorant cannot produce anything, it must have all knowledge and all power. And you have arrived at the traditional definition of God.